The affirmative's proposition is that the U.S. should prohibit unlicensed civilians from owning firearms. In order to ban guns for civilians, we would have to change the Constitution, specifically the Second Amendment, which states a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. The 2008 court case of the District of Columbia versus Heller clarifies this by ruling that the Second Amendment guarantees an individual's right to possess a firearm unconnected with the service in a militia and to use that arm for traditionally lawful purposes such as self-defense within the home. The Constitution, in this case, a law strictly regulating gun ownership was found to be unconstitutional in Colombia. The Constitution is the framework of our democracy and the document that separates us from monarchies, tyrannies, and dictatorships. That Constitution protects the right to bear arms and argues that it is an unalienable right. We should not alter it in order to prevent a statistical improbability, which brings me to their significance claim. The affirmative significance claim that having unlicensed civilians from owning firearms will reduce the amount of gun deaths is blown out of proportion. The claim that the United States has a major problem with firearm homicide is exaggerated. According to the United Nations Office on Drug and Crime, the United States is ranked 28 in international homicide rates with only 3 gun murders per 100,000 people. Also, gun ownership does not correlate with crime or murder. The NRA found that in 2016, as gun ownership had risen to an all-time high, the nation's total violent crime rate had actually fallen to a 44-year low, and the murder rate had also fallen very low at its original point. I would also like to bring attention to my opponent's inherency claim, that gun control laws will reduce the cost associated with gun violence. This whole inherency claim can be dismissed because it is an irrelevant thesis. The affirmative side is arguing for the banning of guns, but this claim is in support of more gun laws. If civilians don't have guns, then why would we need more laws to prevent things that have to do with guns? Therefore, they contradict themselves by saying that gun control laws would work instead of banning guns, proving that there are other options. My opponent's solvency claim also agrees with stricter gun control laws and says that they have lower homicide and suicide rates, also supports my argument instead of their own. The fact that the NRA reported that 1 in 4 people in Switzerland own guns, but they haven't had a mass shooting since 2001, proves that there are other ways to deal with gun violence than prohibiting guns, like stricter and better enforced gun laws, as my opponent herself said. Therefore, my partner and I are arguing today that the U.S. should not prohibit unlicensed civilians from owning firearms.